What stands out for you from this announcement?
What really jumps out to me from this announcement, Esther, is the fact that President Biden is returning to the theme that he ran on in 2020, which is the battle for the soul of America. So essentially what he's saying right now is that he, Joe Biden, needs 4 more years to continue to finish the job, both in terms of governing as well as saving the nation from what he says is the biggest threat, which is Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, who, as we know, is running again, and the ideology of Trumpism. We can see from the video announcement that he is putting forward the Republican candidates, both Donald Trump as well as Ron DeSantis. These are the 2 key figures that's likely to run in 2024 against him. So what does this tell us? This tells us that he is going to be running on ideology, on these so-called culture war issues, abortion, LGBTQ rights, immigration, and so on, but also on the bread and butter issues, in highlighting his achievements, including returning manufacturing to the U.S., creating jobs, as well as a number of other legislative achievements. So we may yet see again another run between President Joe Biden and Donald Trump in 2024.
And so where's Biden in terms of the polls, and are there other Democratic candidates likely to say, well, I'm also going to run for president?
Yeah, so the polls right now is not great for Joe Biden. He's been polling in the upper 30s, low 40s for months right now, and we have yet to see how this announcement is going to impact his standing in the polls. As far as the other candidates from the Democratic side, there's really nobody strong enough to speak of. There are 2 people who have said that they are running against Joe Biden: Marianne Williamson, this is a self-help guru, and Robert Kennedy Jr., the nephew of former President J.F. Kennedy. But so far, none of these figures can even amount to any kind of real or meaningful challenge to Biden.
You mentioned that, he's not doing very well in the polls. But again, if you look at former President Donald Trump, he's also kind of in a conflict of a situation where we don't know if the Republicans are going to say yes to him, because he is facing a couple of legal challenges. What are you learning from analysts on that?
Yeah, so at this point in April, which is 9 months before the first primary in February, it looks very likely that that both Joe Biden will be the nominee from the Democratic side and Donald Trump may be the likely nominee from the Republican side. And this is such an interesting situation because we see poll after poll showing that Americans do not want to see a rematch between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Most Americans do not want Joe Biden to run again, including about 50% of Democrats, and half of them cite his age as a factor. Meanwhile, on the Republican side, it's the same case. They want somebody else other than Donald Trump. Having said that, if there is a rematch between Biden and Trump, most Americans will say that they will vote for their guy, which essentially shows you that even though there's lack of enthusiasm to choose again between Biden and Trump, they will still choose their guy because the alternative is even more distasteful to them.